up, guys? Job Squad, that's your fucking names. Wow, that was aggressive. My name is Intel. This is Let's Talk Wrestling, episode number 3. The topic of discussion today is Brock Lesnar fighting at UFC 200 while under contract at WWE? Question mark? What the fuck? What? Yeah, that's happening. What kind of world are we living in right now that Brock Lesnar is under contract at the WWE? He's going to be at SummerSlam, and he's also going to be fighting for the UFC at the same time. Not at the same time, but you know what I'm saying. First, before we get into that, I'm not going to drink this water. I don't know why it's in my hand. First, I want to remind you guys that this show is based on discussions and talking, and that's why it's called Let's Talk Wrestling, interacting with each other. So be sure to leave a comment and give me your opinion on Brock Lesnar and everything that I talk about. We're going to talk about who he's going to be facing at SummerSlam, what's going on at UFC 200, possible interactions and wild speculations and shit. It's going to be a long one, so buckle up, motherfuckers. God damn, that's aggressive. Again, sorry. Also, follow me on Twitter, at @Jobber_Nation if you want to discuss some wrestling. Not a big deal if you don't. I've been a lot more active for those of you who maybe followed me previously and gave up because I haven't been tweeting. My bad. I'm sorry. I do apologize. Alright, so let's get into it. Brock Lesnar recently, a couple of days ago, they announced that Brock Lesnar is going to be at UFC 200. The big one. The big daddy. They were really counting on Conor McGregor to carry that show, and Ronda Rousey, and both of those guys, guy and gal, had to pull out, and now they've got Brock Lesnar. And from what I've read, it seems as though Brock Lesnar had a clause in his contract that allowed him to do a UFC date or multiple UFC dates of some sort while under contract with the WWE, and this is just the first one or just the only one that he's going to end up doing. I think it's good for both parties. I think it's good for UFC. I think UFC gets a big draw. They get a big star in Brock Lesnar, a guy who has been known in the past to bring them better viewership and more revenue. WWE gets to have their guy go and legitimize the sport, right? They get to go, and not only that, but they get a more of a mainstream view. UFC is huge right now. It's doing really big, right? And now they get to kind of have that crossover audience and bring over some of the UFC people and bring them over to WWE. Now, here's the thing. Nobody knows who Lesnar is fighting. I don't know much about the UFC, so even if they did announce a fighter, I wouldn't know what his chances are at winning, how he might win, what might happen. But I think it can work any way, right? If Lesnar wins the match, that's the best thing possible, right? Lesnar wins the match, comes out on Raw the next night, because, well, 2 nights after. Okay, let's go back. UFC 200 is July 9th. July 11th is a week before SmackDown goes live, which is the discussed or rumored draft date, which is a date that Brock Lesnar has been discussed to be showing up at Monday Night Raw on. UFC 200, July 9th. Brock Lesnar shows up, wins his fight, shows up July 11th at Raw. Like the biggest motherfucker ever, because why not? He just won a legitimate match at UFC, and now he's in WWE, and he's going to beat the shit out of everybody there, and that is amazing. Give him Roman Reigns, give him the title again, because he's fucking Brock Lesnar. What else are you going to do? That's my idea for Brock Lesnar if he wins the match. If he loses the match, which is very possible. He's 5-3 or something, I think, in his UFC career. If he loses the match by knockout, that's fine. I think you have Brock Lesnar then come out on Monday Night Raw pissed off, angry, and he just destroys everything and kills everybody and do something like that where, and then set up something. Somebody comes out. Brilliant idea. Brock Lesnar comes out, starts destroying shit. Cue Goldberg's music. What? Goldberg Brock Lesnar Part 2 at SummerSlam. There you go. There's a brilliant idea. If not that, then I don't know. Bring out Triple H. I don't really know who else you could do. Randy, not really. Kevin Owens, Bray Wyatt would be interesting, but I think Goldberg would be a good bet if they could get him on board. Other than that, I don't really see anybody stopping Lesnar if that was the case, if he lost at UFC and then came out and wreaked havoc, if you will. Let's see. So WWE, blah, blah, blah. If he loses, the only way that this is going to hurt the WWE is if Brock Lesnar gets injured in any serious way at UFC. and it's going to keep him out until SummerSlam because it seems like they're going to keep Lesnar out of the ring until SummerSlam, based on their press release yesterday or the day before, depending on when this video goes up. They announced that Lesnar will be at UFC 200. I keep on doing this a lot. Anyways, they announced that Brock Lesnar is going to be at UFC 200, and then he's going to be at SummerSlam. So that means that he's probably not going to be at Money in the Bank. Probably not going to be at Battleground. But that doesn't mean he's not going to be wrestling, is what I'm saying. He's not going to be wrestling at Battleground as far as I'm concerned. I don't think he will be. I think his next match is going to be at SummerSlam, and it's going to be a big one, a blockbuster. So yeah, if he like breaks his arm or something, which doesn't really happen in the UFC from what I can tell, usually if a guy's got your fucking arm, you're gonna tap out before he breaks it. Maybe Lesnar doesn't want to tap out though, and they break his arm or his leg, or he gets a concussion or something like that. Then that would be bad for the WWE. The only benefit then is that UFC kind of promotes SummerSlam and gets some more network subscribers over to the network, and then more people are watching SummerSlam, a la WWE makes more money. Let's see. So we went through the Lesnar stuff, right? So if he gets injured, that's bad. If he wins, that's amazing. If he loses, that's okay. They can still go on with the storyline. Who does he face at SummerSlam? Bray Wyatt, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton are amongst the names I've seen. Maybe even Goldberg. I think that there's a decent chance we see Goldberg face Lesnar. Possibly. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see, right? I think the most important thing here is to know that you guys are living in a incredibly revolutionary time in wrestling, and that it is insane, and that there's a lot going on, and there's a lot that could possibly happen, and there's a lot of wild speculation that's going on because of all of this crazy shit that's happening that nobody ever thought would happen. You look back and it's like AJ Styles is facing John Cena at Money in the Bank. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then Brock Lesnar is going to go fight at UFC while under contract with WWE. What the fuck is going on? So it's like wild speculation isn't so wild anymore, but it still is. So it's like my advice to you guys is to just like sit back and enjoy the show. Like, just watch and just enjoy and hope WWE doesn't fuck it up, and try not to get pissed off if they do and you think that they do. Just sit back and watch, because it's going to be a really interesting couple of months leading into SummerSlam, and then past SummerSlam, if Lesnar continues to fight at UFC, that would be fucking mind-blowing. I read online, right, on Reddit, r/squared circle, that a MMA reporter, a well-known, I guess, I don't know, I don't follow MMA, so I don't know. Apparently he tweeted and said that the UFC is going to be promoting SummerSlam at UFC 202. Very interesting. This is where wild speculation comes in. This is what I'm just going to speculate the shit out of everything. CM Punk is rumored to be debuting in UFC at UFC 202. UFC 202 is the night before or 2 nights before SummerSlam. I believe it's the night before. UFC usually runs Saturday nights, and then WWE pay-per-views are usually Sundays, so it would be the night before. And apparently they're going to be promoting SummerSlam that night, and CM Punk is going to be debuting. Now, wild speculation tells me that CM Punk is coming out and calling out Brock Lesnar at UFC 200 or 202. Maybe he attacks Lesnar at UFC. I don't fucking know. Just imagine you decide to order UFC 200, right? Because fuck it, you love Brock Lesnar. He's a wrestler, and you love the WWE. Lesnar wins his fight. All of a sudden, CM Punk jumps in the cage and just beats the shit out of Lesnar. What? And then CM Punk wins his match at UFC 202. Now you got Lesnar, Punk at SummerSlam. Unbelievable, right? That's one wild thing. I think that if UFC really is promoting SummerSlam and they're going to start having some sort of working relationship with WWE, that there's a good possibility that we see WWE, that we see CM Punk back in a WWE ring at some point in the future, maybe under a UFC contract, which would be better for him because he thinks he's treated better at UFC, which is probably true. And if that's the case, then maybe he'll come back. He'll have one more match with, AJ Styles or somebody crazy like that, and we'll get one more CM Punk return or something, or maybe we'll get Conor McGregor or Ronda Rousey. I think that Ronda Rousey coming to WWE now is a lot more likely, and I think that is the most likely thing coming out of this. If Lesnar's going to UFC, WWE probably said, well, you're going to promote our show, okay? You want your big draw? You're going to promote our show, and then you're going to give us Rousey because you wouldn't do that for this past WrestleMania. You're going to do it for us at WrestleMania 33. And that is, I think, the most likely thing out of all of this. Out of any UFC talent coming over to WWE, Ronda Rousey is it because she has a love for wrestling. She likes wrestling. She was at WrestleMania. She was interactive at WrestleMania. And then there was a lot of speculation that she was going to have a match, but UFC wouldn't let her. So now UFC kind of has to because WWE let their guy go fight on their show. So fair trade, right? One for one. So that's my wild speculations, guys. I think we're going to cut it there. Brock Lesnar, he's one of a kind. I mean, this guy basically does whatever the fuck he wants to do at this point. He's a huge draw for UFC and WWE. Personally, I think this is great because Brock Lesnar was starting to get a little stale for me anyways in WWE. And now it just got a lot more interesting. So sit back, guys. Buckle up. Buckle the fuck up because this is going to be a roller coaster. Possibly. Maybe not. Maybe Lesnar fucking trips and falls, cracks his head open, taking the garbage out, right? Deborah yells at him because he doesn't take the garbage out enough. And he doesn't make it either show, and we're all fucked. But either way, guys, buckle the fuck up. It's going to be an interesting few months. Lesnar going to UFC 200, then SummerSlam. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let me know who you want to see Lesnar face at SummerSlam. Let me know if you think that CM Punk is going to attack Lesnar at UFC and then face him at SummerSlam, or if I'm completely crazy. Make sure to follow me at Jobber_Nation. This has been your boy Intel. Bye.